All right, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to cover a very simple but somewhat confusing rarity metric that exists in the MoonCat community. It's very statistical and something that you can actually kind of spot at an eye to a degree until you realize that there's a lot of numbers and calculations that go on underneath. And yes, I'm talking about clones, twins, mirrors, and only child, or should I say children. Sounds pretty simple. Let's just dive a little bit deeper to make sure that it's all covered in a precise manner. So let's go out and check out our lovely MoonCat Pro, which is vetted by Ponderware. So always check here first and we'll do some cross-referencing. So what exactly are these traits and why are they important? First, let's cover litter size. So litter size are cats that share the same rendered color and fur pattern. So if you look here above, the color is red and the coat pattern is pure for these ones. This one is green and spotted. And that's just because I can eye it. This one is a tabby with the stripes. And there's a tortie around here somewhere. Here's a tortie, half colored face. So you could tell with spotted, the difference is like the little eye patch that comes along with it. So cats that share the same rendered color and fur pattern are your twins. And you could see the statistical breakdown of these numbers. We go all the way down to 13, right? So there is one litter size that is 13 cats that are the same color and fur pattern. So that is the most rare. And then we size a little bit down. Twins. Twins are cats from the same litter which share the same expression. So twins are cats that share the same color, fur pattern, and expression. So remember that. Twins are color, fur pattern, and expression. As you can see, there are, I guess, there's a set of twins that are 6, and that is 0.02. So those are the only ones that exist. So they share all those same ideas. Then we get down to mirrors. So they're twins that share the same pose. So now we go back up to the top. So they're cats that share the same pose, expression, color, and fur pattern. So 4 trait rarity metrics that they are sharing. And then we go down to clones. These are the rarest ones. These are cats that are visually identical, creepy. We're originally referred to these as twins and triplets. So it's very similar to what a mirror is, but they go straight down to the decimal point for the hue color metrics, where on MoonCat Pro, and I'll show here in a second, the hue colors, which is like 0 through a few hundred numbers, they are actually broken down into decimal points, but they just don't have it displayed on MoonCat Pro. So you can actually come across a few cats that look visually identical, but they're actually distinguished by a few decimal points down there. And as you can see, there are only 1,200 clones that exist out of 25,000, so 5%. So this itself is a very important rarity metric, because now you're coming down to only a class of 1,200 out of 25,000 that exist. So it makes it a little bit easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with my cat. And yeah, full disclaimer, this is mine. It says owned by you. Mr. Moo. Mr. Moo is not only the first named cat, it's also the first clone that exists as well. So as you can see down here in the properties, clone, yes. So it checks all the boxes, right? It's a clone, it's a mirror, it's a twin. And then you can see the co-pattern and the color hues, which the specific hue color is not displayed on OpenSea. I know Ponderware mentioned that they were going to do that, which personally I think it would help. So if you guys are listening to it, please add that hue metric, which is very important for the character cat ratings, which I could cover late at the end, or you could check out my other videos. So let's go to Mr. Moo himself. So here he is, number 6. As you can see, the color magenta, spotted, blah, 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 clone 1, right? He is a clone with something else. But what you can do is you can actually click on it. And some people don't realize this. You could get even more metadata. props to Dam and the Pondaware team for getting this. So obviously you have blueprints. The secondary color, this is the RGB scale. So here's the hue color number, and this is usually pretty important when being able to identify not only character cats, but clones and some of the metrics for your own personal taste. But it's most important for character cats. And so if you come down here, you get the original ass date, rescued by, timestamp, block, blah, blah, blah. And in the NFT pool, but then here you can actually see the litter mates, which makes it a lot easier. So look, you can see that the clone with Mr. Moo is also its mirror, and it's also a twin. So they all check off all three of the boxes. And then these are the litter mates. So this makes it easier to collect an entire litter. Obviously this one, like it's on OpenSea. So here, let's click on Mr. Moo's counterpart, right? So it's a number 12,340. It was rescued in March. Rescue timestamp. And you can see is that you can click on it and it'll take you to the website that it exists. And now it's only going to be between two websites. It'll be either OpenSea or it'll be on the adoption center. So here you could see, you could come down and you can even verify the contents, which you always want to double check just to make sure, because as I've mentioned before, we are still early in this NFT game. So there could be a lot of discrepancies across all the platforms. So there you go. Clone, yes, checked off the mark. So that is Mr. Moo's clone, MoonCat adopter. Maybe I can acquire him one day. So again, checking over the rarities. This is Rarity Tool, which a lot of people like to use as well. Make sure that all of these line up, and we could go through this right now while we're here, just to double check what I am double downing on. So let's see. Twins. There are roughly 6,100 twins. And right here, they have 8,000. So not sure what the difference is. Maybe they might only be oh, yes. So I'm not sure what they're tracking. And then see, even if you go down to clones, it says 12,000. And then if you go down here, oh, that might be right. So that's actually the combination of both, right? So what's 1192 plus 24 is like 12. What is that, 16 or something like that? I'm pretty bad at math. So, okay, so that adds up. So my bad. So if we just add all of these up, it looks like it's pretty close. I'm not going to sit here and do the math for you guys, but if you add all those up, it looks like it'll come to this. So it looks like the math is adding up on both platforms, at least from the statistical standpoint. So good for you, Rarity Tools. Again, I think the only mistake that they've fixed outside of favoring boutique items, which isn't necessarily just their fault, is they need to fix the first day numbers. Maybe they're off. Maybe they're using a different time scale. I'm not sure. So here we're going to go to OpenSea and I'll show you the different price differences and the premium. So this was the only children. Yeah, see, only child. There's only 4,000. The floor right now is 0.711 on October 30th. Not really a favorable rarity metric. Looks like people mostly don't care for only children. Makes me sad as being an only child. No favorable treatment. And now we go down to twins, right? So twins would be the second most common or the most common litter rarity metric, I guess we could call it. So as you see, again, literally this cat is at the floor. So floor cats still with twins. Some people might find some value down the road once there is a larger community and more people are kind of all over the place. Mirrors, as you can see, the mirror floor is actually much higher. It's about what, 40% higher-ish, maybe 50%. Sorry guys, I'm bad at just doing math off the top of my head. So you got about a 50% premium for mirrors. As you can see, it continually goes upwards. So I think that is because with the mirrors, right, you have same pose, you have same expression, and you have the same hue and color. So you got 4 things that you gotta check off the box to get down to these ones. And then we go down to clones. Clones 1.55. So it's literally 100% premium, at least the floor premiums are. And there is a lot of people who find value in clones. Some people like to acquire clones and then sell them as sets because they've done the digging for everybody. Now they can charge their own premium for whatever the finder's fee is. On top of that, there are a few clone whales that exist within the MoonCat collector ecosystem. I forget which one specifically. I'll let you guys do the digging. So as you see here, it looks just normal. You have to find the metadata with MoonCats. All the values, or most of the value, I should say, is in the metadata. So if you could find a clone that has an amplifier, as I like to say, which is in combination with some of these other rarity metrics, then I would consider that much more valuable. Like, for example, showing my own bags again with Mr. Moo, wherever you are. Not only is he a top 10 minted cat, number 7 minted cat, because there is a MoonCat 0. It's also the first named cat, and it's the first clone. So what is the value of that? In my opinion, I don't think the market's ready to value it. So he's not for sale anytime in the near future, unless somebody amuses me with some ludicrous offer. But first named NFT with the first clone in the MoonCat ecosystem, very valuable. So at the end of the day, guys, this is a fun aspect to the MoonCat lore. Think about it. At the end of the day, why would people prefer clones or favor them outside of them only being about 1,200 out of 25,000? MoonCats are the first generative art project. So they were the first NFT on Ethereum, maybe ever. I tried to look through the past ones. I haven't been able to find one between Bitcoin and Namecoin. So unless somebody corrects me, we'll just say it's the first generative NFT. Basically, it was created by an algorithm where the cats were randomly generated based off of the MoonCat DNA, which you could see on these names. This right here, they all have meaning. These all mean like the expression, the direction that it faced, the pose, the color, the coat, all that fun stuff. That all is minted. And there was over 4 billion possibilities of MoonCats at mint. And then the owner decided to adopt it. So you're saying now that out of over 4 billion possibilities, these two cats somehow out of a 25,440 piece collection ended up with the same exact traits across the board outside of the mint year, of course. So could be even more valuable than just that small 5% rarity, because at the end of the day, there was over 4 billion potential mint possibilities. To end up with those two distinct characteristics that are all the same in a line, probably more valuable, and the value should probably be much higher than what they exist or the premium. So we'll continue to see how this all appreciates over time as the user base and the unique owners are now 6,800 and will at some point in the future cross over 10,000 and be the largest community in any NFT that exists. Looking forward to seeing what happens. I hope you guys learned a lot. This is Cat Dad covering only children, twins, mirrors, and clones. If you have any questions or any comments or I got anything wrong, comment below. Make sure you guys subscribe and all of that fun stuff. And I will catch you guys next time.